What's going on, guys? It's The Miz. And I want to talk NFC East football, baby. Yo, the New York Giants are 6-1. Some people might have called it, but who really dreamed it? Yo, we're living the dream this year. This football team's for real. And people don't want to talk about it. But there are teams in the NFC East that are scared about it. We're no longer the team that you look on the record and say that's a win. This Giants team's coming in, we're nasty, we're physical, and we'll punch you in the mouth. And we do damage. I mean, we pack a punch that does damage. The Giants are real. The Giants are physical. And the New York Giants are led by a quarterback that's doing damage. And people hate it. Yo, they love to hate him. We hate to love him. Yo, the A train is leaving this station. You better get on it, or you're left at the platform alone. Daniel Jones is knocking on the door of elite. Yeah, I said it. The Miz said it. Daniel Jones is knocking on the door of a top-level quarterback in the NFL. And I don't give a shit if you do it with your feet, your hands. I don't care if you use your ears. I don't care. And I don't really give a damn about the fantasy numbers either. There's only one number that matters, and it falls under the W column. Daniel Jones is 6-1. And I could sit here and tell you, if you watch the entire season and all the games and didn't just Google up the stats, Daniel Jones is the #1 reason why. Yeah, coaching's amazing. You can't take that away. Coaching goes hand in hand with the head of the snake. And the head of the snake right now is Daniel fucking Jones. Yo, Daniel Jones is knocking on the door of something special. The Giants are young and strong. And we're on the verge of a big run for the next 6, 7, 8 years. We have a strong defense. It needs work in the run defensive game. But we play defense like this. I'm going to give you 90 yards, but you're not crossing this goal line. And to me, that's old school football. Real defense. In a league where we're playing, where they allow you to pass, and they don't allow corners to touch receivers, I'll give you the yards up the field. But you're not crossing the goal line. And the Giants have proven that. Because I believe the Giants are #1 in the NFL in red zone defense. And in last week's game, the league tried to walk the Jaguars up the field with some of the most bullshit calls I've ever seen in my 35 years of football. I've never seen the league try to give a team a win like in the last minute of that Giants-Jaguars game. 5 bullshit penalties in the last 50 seconds. Are you kidding me? Is this serious? I didn't know if we were watching something for real or if it was a scripted comedy act. And I don't blame the refs, because it ain't the refs don't call those calls. The league wants the games to come down to the final seconds, whether you want to believe it or not. And we all don't want to believe that some of these games are fixed. And I still won't believe that. But what my eyes and all of us, the whole country, saw in the last minute of that game last week was the league tried to fix a game to the Jaguars because they were going to London next week and they wanted to showcase the Jaguars as a better team than they've been. Why? Because their plans are to send Jacksonville to London permanently. They haven't been good. Their fans don't buy tickets, and there was no more proof than last week in Jacksonville Stadium when it was about 75% Giants fans. The New York metropolitan area and the Giant fans in Florida took over Jacksonville. Yo, this fan base is jacked. This organization is on fire. And you even saw John Mara pumping his fist up in the press, up in the booth last Sunday in Jacksonville. When have we ever seen John Mara act that way? The NFC East is back to the old days of football, what NFL was built on. The NFC East football. Beast of the East. The Philadelphia Eagles are 6-0. And right now, the Eagles are strong. The Dallas Cowboys are 5-2. They have some issues, but they are a very strong team, especially on the defensive side. Yo, even Washington, they're not having a good year because they had a lot of issues. And maybe a lot of it was Wentz. But as the Green Bay Packers found out, and I still am not a believer that the Packers are done. To me, they're still a good team that's going to find themselves. But Washington proved that if you don't come and bring your A game, they'll beat you. And the New York Giants right now are the Cinderella team of the NFL. Because nobody saw the Giants doing this. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your predictions were. I don't care. Because you're not being real with yourself. You don't look me in the eye and tell me. There's no way in the world anyone dreamed of the Giants being 6-1 and doing it in the way they're doing it. With the #1 run game in football with Barkley and Jones is burning a fire through the league with his legs. And let me tell you something, he could throw the damn ball too. They gave the man an O-line. They got the guy a real coaching staff that can put together a scheme that fits his style. He's delivering balls. I believe he's #1 in the league in third down conversions. His QBR is among the top of the NFL. 107 yards rushing? What? 107 yards rushing? What? Are you sure that was Daniel Jones last week? 107 yards rushing for Daniel Jones. That guy might have opened Lamar Jackson's eyes. 202 throwing yards. A touchdown rushing, a touchdown passing. One receiver, Robinson. If you want to tell me Slayton's solid, he's decent, he's good. You're not working with any type of game-breaking receivers here. At all. Nothing fancy. Among probably the worst receiving core in the NFL. Daniel Jones. Among the top QBs in the league. He's throwing a milkman and FedEx guys. Marcus Johnson. Marcus Johnson. Are you serious? I mean, the man is scared to put his arms out. Dropped a touchdown on the goal line. And you know what? I'm happy he did. You want to know why? Because we saw Jones. The man has finally arrived. He went off on him. He cursed him. They can't catch the effing ball. Daniel Jones screaming that. Going to the sideline, yelling at the players on the sideline. This man was calling signals at the line of scrimmage. He even audibled. This is a brand new Daniel Jones. And you know what you can see right now? Here's how you know Daniel Jones has arrived. And there's no more questions about our future. This team adores this guy. This is now Daniel Jones' team officially. You couldn't say that the last 3 years. Right now, in week 6, going into week 7 of the NFL, this is Daniel Jones' team. Yes, Barkley's the superstar of the team. Yes, there's a couple of big names on defense. This is Daniel Jones' team. Make no mistake about it. He commands the pocket. He demands out of the offense. And imagine when Tony and Golladay are fully healthy. And I know people don't like Golladay. And I know I've been the one who gives Tony a hard time. Tough love, my man. Because when you expect something big and you don't get it, you gotta let that person know you're disappointing us. Now, it turns out he's probably injured. Yo. In 2 weeks, we have Seattle next week and the bye. After the bye, you have a fully healthy Tony, a fully healthy Golladay. I don't care, never mind. Golladay made $72 million. It ain't coming out of your bank account. Never mind that. Because I'll tell you what, a healthy Golladay, if we could just get him the ball a few times and get him fired up and involved, is big. Because even when Golladay wasn't involved in the passing game and he looked down, he still was blocking his ass off on the outside for Barkley. Let's put this together. And if I'm Joe Schoen, I'm on the phone right now. Go get a wide receiver. Daniel Jones has earned himself a toy. Go get him a wideout on the outside that can catch balls consistently, reliable, and has some type of speed to get yak after the catch. Because right now, Jones don't have any of that. And you just lost your tight end for a while. That's one less weapon. But don't worry, because Daniel Jones will take no-name tight end out of the supermarket in the next week and turn him into a serviceable tight end. And we're going to run the ball anyway. Seattle Seahawks are a tough-ass team. They're playing great football, and Geno Smith's having a hell of a year. And you got to take your hats off to Pete Carroll. And right now, you know what the battle of this Sunday is? Coach of the Year Bowl. Because there's your two coaches of the year. Brian Daboll, Pete Carroll. Doing it with so much lack of talent. Teams that weren't expected to win more than 5 games or 6 games each this year, right? Wrong. Any given Sunday on any given year in the National Football League. So the battle of the Coach of the Year Bowl is in Seattle at 4:30 Sunday. The Seahawks are playing good football and they're coming off a big win, a high. Beat up the Chargers. And Walker is having a great year running the ball. Walker is a guy I loved in the draft. And he's manned up this year. Stepped up. And here come the New York Football Giants with the #1 rush game in the NFL. Where everyone knows they're running the ball all the time. And can never stop us any of the time. How do you like that, boy? So, hey. Take another crack at it in Week 7, Seattle. Because the Giants have 3 running backs. Barkley, Breida, and maybe the biggest runner of all in the NFL as a quarterback. You know, the guy I love to doubt, Daniel Jones. And I'm going to tell you right now, Daniel Jones is not only a franchise quarterback, he's one beast of a player for the Giants right now. I want this guy here. I'm fucking in love with this guy. I love everything he stands for, the way he carries himself, the leader he's becoming, the man that he is, the person that he is. Class act, just like every New York Giants quarterback has always been. He lives in the gym, he studies the film, he's getting better and better hour by hour, and he's got the fire and desire. The heart of a lion. He'll take a beat down. He'll be limping. And on the next play, he's going to put his shoulder down and run right over a linebacker. And that's a guy I want here. And boy, is he growing. And if you don't think Daniel Jones is the guy for next year and on, I got news for you. The train left the station and you're standing on the platform all alone in the dark. You're standing at the station alone in the dark. You missed the train. You've been left behind. And the Daniel Jones train is headed northbound. We're headed northbound for Christmas. And he's taking the Giants to the fucking playoffs this January. The Giants are 6-1 with 10 games left. We're going to Seattle. We're underdog again. Exactly how we like it. We're underdog 2.5. We're underdog every single Sunday. And the Giants win every single Sunday. And then you watch the clowns on Monday on TV scratch their heads because they can't make sense of it. Yo, as if the Giants can't be a good football team. Like, it's shocking. Giants are not good. Giants are the worst 6-1 team in history. The Giants have the worst O-line I've ever seen. Daniel Jones won't be here next year. Giants have no wide receivers. There's no talent on this team. We're lucky they got Wink. Listen, the Giants are playing good football. I give them a little credit, but it can't last. You can't sustain winning with this style of football. Right, Maxwell? Stephen A? You can't sustain this. You got a coaching staff that schemes for every game with 2 game plans. Not 1, 2. 2 game plans for every game. That's called a beast of a coaching staff. We're prepared. Plan A and Plan B. And who knows, there's probably even a Plan C. And yo, let me warn you something right now. You know that number 5 off the edge that we drafted? That lion? I was telling you he was a lion way before the draft. And I prayed that he would fall to 5. And God gave us a gift. It seems like since Joe Schoen and Dabo have arrived here, God has turned the road around and given us plenty of gifts. Right? The draft. Now this season. Daniel Jones. Healthy Barkley. Yo. Number 5, Kayvon Thibbs. This guy's a beast. He's bringing pressure off the edge like a lion every single play. And he's being R-bombed, headlocked, okay? Bear hugged on every single fucking play. And the refs ignored it this week. For 2 weeks now, but this week especially. You saw him armbarred from behind around his neck on 7 different occasions. 3 times on that last drive. No flags! Because the league wanted the refs to get Jacksonville down towards the end zone. To give them, they wanted the final play of the game to come down with Lawrence having a shot into the end zone. Well, they got their shot. They got their shot. And the Giants dropped them on the 1. It's like teasing a kid. Here's a chocolate ice cream, waving in his face, and the last second pulling it right out of his mouth. Thibbs is an animal. The tape is going to be sent to the league if it hasn't been already. I think Dabo hinted at it. And the league is going to have the refs start to call these flags to stop these arm bars and chokeholds on Thibbs. And once the flags start coming out, and you cannot do that anymore, and you got to man up and block Thibbs straight up, Thibbs is going to explode on this league. We have ourselves a massive pass rusher for the future. We have ourselves a beast, and he's not going to stop. He's hungry, and he's coming, boy. And 2 games in a row, he was an animal, especially in the 4th quarter. When the game gets late and the guys get tired, it seems like his engine just starts to roar like it's fully loaded on gasoline. And it's coming. This guy's every bit the fucking lion I knew he was. We got something special. Yo, the Giants are going to Seattle this week. And I don't usually do this early in the week. Seattle better watch out. They're playing good football. But they're about to get a hungry tiger. An animal that's 6-1 and doesn't know it. doesn't act like it, and doesn't play like it. We play like every single game, it's us against the world, and I want it to stay that way. The hate, the doubt, the being underdogs every week to teams that we should be favored over, that's fuel to this blazing fire. And we got a coach that's a fucking gangster. This guy walks around after the game outside an enemy stadium with a fat Cuban cigar in his mouth, walking up to the fans and smoking cigars with them. Yo, the Giants are back. The Giants are real. The Giants are among one or two of the youngest teams in the league. Be excited. Be excited. Yo, Joe Shane, the Giants are having a season. You never know when these seasons are going to come. Yes, we're knocking on the door of a big decade. But yo, and I know you had a plan to build, and sometimes plans got to be a little bit adjusted. Don't change your plans for building for the future. Don't give up nothing big in next year's draft. But go get Daniel Jones, a real receiver, a Judy, someone out there. Claypool. There's a few receivers out there. And it don't have to be Odell Beckham, because I don't think he fits us right now. You need a young receiver, and I think Judy's the best one available. Denver looks like they're done. They're willing to trade. I wouldn't give them anything huge. I'd give up a third-round pick for Judy, because you're going to draft a receiver in the first few rounds next year anyway. So you're getting a young kid who's not even in his prime yet. He's under contract for the next year or two. He doesn't make a ton of money. He's on a rookie deal. Judy fits this Giants system, and he would open up the field because Judy on the outside. Tony comes back. You got Robinson, Slayton, and Galladay can mix it in and out. Yo, the December run could be a beast. Just imagine. Jones would have a passing game, and those type of receivers have to, they spread out the defense. They make the secondary respect you, which would open up way more holes up front in the run game. Imagine what Barkley, Breeder, and Jones could do then. And you got a Tony that could get you yak after the catch. Yeah, maybe you throw a Galladay in the red zones, throw him a few balls, get him fired up. That guy didn't just forget how to play football. Robinson looks like we got ourselves a weapon. Slayton's playing good football. I'm proud of that kid. Because when he was shitted on and stuffed in the back of the bench, he ate it and kept his mouth shut and never tweeted or talked shit or said a damn thing. And right now, he's helping carrying his team the last 2 games. Big touchdown down the sideline to open the game Sunday. Every game in the NFL is hard, so I'm not going to look at the future and say, oh, we got all these games coming up, we should win them all. But you know what? When you're winning, for some reason, the confidence and the chemistry, and there's even a lucky powder on this team right now. Luck matters, and the Giants got it. And I don't see any reason why the Giants aren't going to keep on winning. 11 wins is not far-fetched at all. I actually expect it. Playoffs are lit up in our sight. And this is the type of team that is not arrogant, doesn't think they're great, and they're going to give their blood and sweat their all every single week. So we'll go to Seattle with the #1 run game in football and play the 31st ranked rush defense. And unlike the Chargers, we'll fucking run the ball. We'll tell you we're running the ball. Now, I'm sure the staff is going to coach up a scheme. We lost Evan Neal, so we're going to have to come up with a little bit of something. But right now, we got a coaching staff we never have to think twice about. Hungry as anything. Anything can happen in the NFL. Anything goes in late December. Get into the dance and take your shot. We have a house money year. But right now, we have a house money year where we can make big things happen. We can dream. And because we're doing it in the toughest division in football, there's a thing I believe in that helped us win Super Bowls in the past. It's called battle tested. And the fact that the New York Giants have had to battle their ass off every single game and pull out games from behind late in the fourth quarter. The Giants are probably the most battle tested in the team in the league this year right now. And that makes kids become men. I just wanted to talk a little Giants football. And I wanted to tell you, damn, am I proud of Daniel Jones. I wear his 8 on my sleeve. And I love the guy. And there's nowhere else I want Jones for the rest of this year, next year. Give this man a contract. And Daniel Jones has showed me that he's going to be one of the top QBs in the league by next year. And you want to know something? Daniel Jones is going to take us to a Super Bowl. It's in the near future. I believe it. This man has grown so much, and you got to understand, under this coach, it's like a first year right now. But he still has 3 years of beatings for experience. And that goes a long way. Nothing make a man a warrior more than adversity. And this man has faced it. The New York Football Giants are among the best in the league. Don't be left standing at the station.